Alright, so in this video we're checking out the TUNENGE T21X. So this is another new brand here for EDC flashlights on the channel, and this like branding here is interesting. It's like a tune plus letter NG, and then it looks like a light from a flashlight. That's an E. That's how their name is spelled. And this is a nice little small EDC flashlight, one button operation. It does have a 90-degree swivel point, so you can turn it like this, and there's the LED, so you can use it as a traditional flashlight like this, pointed forward. And the swivel here is going to be for the head strap. So you have this bracket, and then the flashlight's going to go, you're going to put into the slot here and over here, probably, I don't know, something like this. Snap that in, and then there's going to be a headband that's also included, and then you're going to use this basically as a headband flashlight. And then you have a USB-C cable for charging, and you get a small manual. Basically that's pretty much it. It uses a small, I think it's a 10400 size battery, so I'll go ahead and pull it out and show you. It's rechargeable and you can replace it. So yeah, it's a TUNENGE branded, 1000 milliamp hour, 14500 size, and basically the same size as a AA battery, but this is lithium ion chemistry and not alkaline. The tail is magnetic, so you can attach it to metal surfaces and it'll hold the flashlight in place. You got a two-way clip here, so you can clip this on a hat if you don't want to use the headband. And here is the USB-C port for charging, and it's got this nice little waterproof cover. You got that single button again to operate. I'll show you that in a second. In terms of, like, you know, the basic box stuff here, some basic specs: 168 hours of max runtime on, I think it's the Moonlight level, 1400 lumens max in turbo. Apparently it is also compatible with a AA battery. I'll have to try that out later. Magnetic tail cap, 1.5 meter impact resistance, and it is IP66 waterproof rated. Now all of these instructions are in the manual as well, but it's nicely summarized here in the back of the box. So basically here are the instructions on how to get to the different modes. I'm going to show you that here shortly, so you can pause the video if you want to read all that. But here are the different lumen levels and distances that it'll reach and runtime. So in turbo, 1400 lumens, 4 hours, 168 meters, and then you have the different levels here for high, 420, medium, 120 lumens, low is 30 lumens, Moonlight is 3 lumens. Then you have a 1400 lumen strobe mode and 120 lumen SOS mode, and it's 60 grams with the battery. Size is about 4¼ inches by 3/4 of an inch. So operation's pretty straightforward. You just long press the button to go into Moonlight mode, 2 seconds, and then long press to go into low. That's low, medium, high, and then you can double press to go to turbo. There's turbo, and then pressing it to go off. If you want to go straight into turbo mode, you just double press, go straight into turbo mode, and turn it off. To get into the strobe mode, you're going to press the button 3 times, and then once you're in the strobe mode, you press the button 3 times again, and you'll get the SOS mode. So for those of you that don't like flashing lights, you might want to skip this part of the video. So here we go with the strobe mode, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3 again, and then here's your SOS mode. And it's going to do a quick test with a regular alkaline AA battery. Alright, so this is just with a regular AA battery. So it looks like it just goes into low, medium, high. So turbo does not come on. Go back off again. Let's see if Moonlight mode comes on. So that Moonlight mode does come on. So Moonlight, low, medium, high. But turbo is not available on the AA battery. Strobe and SOS is available on the AA battery. It looks like only the turbo mode doesn't work on the alkaline battery. Yeah. So I imagine the runtimes are probably quite a bit shorter on the AA battery versus the lithium ion cell, so be aware of that. You can also check the charge of the battery by pressing the button. You'll see a little light here on this button. You can see if it's green, that means it's almost a full charge. And as the charge goes down, it'll start turning red and flashing red. And that's when you need to charge the battery. So this one, we'll go ahead and take it outside somewhere dark and see how the light performs. All right, back in the garage, and let's go ahead and turn on moonlight mode. So, pretty decent. You can definitely even make stuff out pretty far away, even in the lowest setting here, which of course will last the longest amount of time. So that's moonlight. Here's low. Wow, that's plenty. Kind of impressive for this little flashlight. You get that much on low. There's medium. And that's high, so that's really lighting up the whole garage. Plenty of reach. You can see inside the car. No problem. Yeah, so whatever you're pointing at, get plenty of light. And then here is turbo. Super bright. Again, this is a little tiny flashlight. Pretty amazing how much light this produces. And we'll turn it back down. That's low. And then off. Should have memory function. Back to low. So again, off. And this is moonlight mode. So yeah, moonlight mode compared to even low doesn't look that impressive. But when if you need some sort of light, it's better than nothing. Even on moonlight mode, it'll last the longest amount of time too. All right, so obviously the magnetic tail is great here. I'm going to put it on the garage door. Obviously it's pointing straight up, but of course we can adjust that angle. And you can go the full 90 degrees. And it'll point straight down, but not too useful in that, but you can adjust pretty much any angle you want. Like so. So I'm going to try and increase this angle a little bit more. So this is kind of a 45-degree angle. You can see how well things are illuminated here. Let's go ahead and stick this. I'll stick this on the side of the car here. And at that angle, it's kind of pointing off in that direction. So obviously if you have a flat tire or something, you probably want to point it down like that. That's probably more appropriate. But that angle is adjustable. And that magnetic tail is very strong. It'll stick to most metal surfaces without any issues. So this adjustable angle thing is a really nice feature for this small flashlight. All right, so that's going to cover my review of the T21X. Very nice small pocket flashlight. And of course, with the headband accessory, you can stick this on your head as well. It's another very useful function. And the light output on this thing is pretty impressive for the size. So if you always want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description. Got any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.